In this video, we are going to see pin tactic. Actually, there are some 15 basic tactics which we will see one by one. I have already posted one video how to play chess. So this video can be treated as continuation of that video. Pinning can be done against king, queen, and also rook. So a knight cannot pin or a pawn cannot pin on opponent pieces. If the pin is against the king, it is very powerful because the pinned piece cannot move other than the diagonal or the line of the pinning piece. If a piece pinned against queen or rook, the piece can move. Now in this position, the bishop has pinned the queen against the king. So the queen can move only along the bishop diagonal or can cut the bishop. If it moves somewhere else, then the king will come under attack. So it is illegal move. Illegal move is not allowed in chess. So if at all the queen can cut the bishop, or white can move the king to c1 or d2. So if the king moves to c1 or d2, bishop can cut the queen. So with the help of pin, black has gained 6 points. So in this way, a pin can help winning material. Here in this position, the queen is replaced by the rook. So bishop pins the rook here. Since the rook can move only in horizontal and vertical direction, so the rook is immobile here. Bishop can take the rook and king into bishop. So white loses 2 points here. Now coming to the next position, here the bishop is pinned by the same piece, that is bishop. You can also see the white rook is attacking the queen. The bishop is giving support to the white rook. But since it is under pin, the bishop can move only along the pinned piece diagonal, that is pinning piece diagonal, that is the black bishop. It cannot move over to the other diagonal. So the support it gives is imaginary only. So the rook has actually has no support. Even though bishop is supporting, it has no support. So the bishop can cut the bishop only. If the black queen cuts the rook, it cannot retake the queen. So the pinned piece is the support which gives is imaginary only. So you can black can cut queen into rook. White cannot play bishop into queen. It can play only bishop into bishop. It can move along this diagonal only. That is a4 to d1. a4 d1 diagonal it can move. Now moving to the next position. Here also the bishop is pinned by the black bishop. White bishop is pinned by the black bishop, and the white bishop is supporting the pawn on d3, but it is not actually supporting. So black can take queen into pawn check and then mate on c2, queen c2 mate. So it is not actually supporting. The supporting gives is imaginary. Pinned piece gives is imaginary. Here also the pawn is pinned now by the rook on the d line. So the pawn supports the rook, but this rook support is imaginary. So black can cut the rook with the help of the pin. So white cannot cut the queen again because it is illegal. The king is exposed to check, so it is illegal. So now with the help of pin, black plays queen into rook and wins the rook. Now moving to the next diagram, we see the white knight and also the king are in the same D line. So a rook placed on D8 can pin the knight against the king. So the knight cannot move. So it can be attacked by a pawn which is of lower value. So after C4, the knight cannot move because of the pin. After C4, black can win the knight on the next move by taking the knight with the pawn. So he gains 2 points with the help of the pin. So the pawn attacks the knight cannot move, and black wins the knight. Here you see the knight and king are placed on the same line. So black can pin the knight with the rook to d8, but white can also provide support to the knight by playing rook to c4. But black can pile up attack on the pinned piece by playing bishop to c3. So white could not provide another support because he has only white bishop, and king cannot also support the knight. So he loses the knight. So if you pin a piece, then you should pile up attack on that pinned piece. This is the idea behind the pinning. Now in this diagram, we see that king is placed on a1 and rook is on d4. So both the pieces are in the diagonal. So the queen can pin the rook on the diagonal. So queen to e5 or queen to f6 pins the rook. If the king is on c3, then it can release the pin by playing king to d3 and also give support to the rook. But since the king is on a1, it cannot give support. If the king moves to b2, then queen into rook check, then king to b3 is possible. So black wins the rook by pinning the rook against the king. Now here we see the bishop and king is on the same D line. So queen can pin the bishop by playing queen to d6 or queen to d8. So now the bishop is gone. So moving on to the next diagram, we see in the same position the rook is placed on a6. So if black plays queen d8 or queen d6, pinning the bishop, the rook can come to the support of the bishop, and also it unpins the king. So the bishop is free to move now. So in this way we can unpin the position. In this position we see the white rook has pinned the black knight against the queen. Since the pin is against the queen, the black knight is free to move. But in this position, if the knight moves, then black loses the queen. So he cannot move the knight. So how to win the knight? Black should play bishop to c6 and bring a second attack on the knight. So in this way, the pin should be utilized to win material. So if the queen moves to b6, then white can win bishop into knight or rook into knight. So we will move on to the next position where the bishop has pinned the knight against the queen. In the previous position, we saw that rook pinned the knight in the lion. Now the knight and queen are in the diagonal, so bishop only can pin the knight. Rook cannot pin the knight if it is placed in the diagonal against the queen. So bringing the second piece to attack the knight, again he can win the knight easily. So if the queen moves to e2, then rook into knight check is possible. So moving on to the next position, we see the queen is replaced by the rook. Even then the knight is pinned because the rook is higher value than the bishop. If the knight moves, bishop can cut the rook and gain 2 points. So the knight is pinned. So white should pile up the attack on the pinned piece. So he should move the rook to d1 in order to give second attack. But black can release the pin by playing rook to e7 if black's turn to move. But since it is white turn to move, he has to lose the piece, that is the knight. Now here in this position, the bishop pins the knight, but but it is of equal value. The knight can give support to the bishop by moving to f6. If black's turn to move, or even if white's turn to move, if he plays rook d1, he can play knight to f6 and give a support. The knight can move to f6. So there is no pin here actually. So bishop into bishop, knight into bishop is there. Only equal value exchanges. So there is no loss of material here. In the next position, we see the knight is replaced by a rook actually. So even if white pins the rook, he can move and give support to the bishop. So the bishop is of equal value. Even if he takes the bishop, he can retake the bishop. So there is no loss of material. So this pin is not useful. In the same position, if the white rook is placed on h2, then white should not pin the rook. Black can easily unpin and win the bishop. You see, if bishop to c6, then rook to d1 check wins the bishop. So if there is unpinning possible, then you should be careful in pinning the piece. In this position, we see the white rook has pinned the black knight. Because the black rook has no support, white can bring additional attack to the knight and wins the. Now we see the same position, but there is a black bishop on f6 supporting the rook. So if now white plays bishop to c6, double attacking the knight can easily move, so that if rook into rook, bishop into rook, so this pin is not very effective. An higher value piece can pin the lesser value piece also if it is not supported. See, in this diagram, the knight and bishop are on the same line and bishop has no support. So white can play rook to d1 and pinning the knight. If the knight moves, then he can take the bishop. So the knight is pinned now. So black loses either the knight or the bishop here. In the next three example, we will see how unpinning is done and why one should be very careful while pinning a piece. Now in this position, actually rook is unsupported, black rook is unsupported, and if white wants to pin the knight by playing rook to d1, black can easily unpin the rook by playing knight to f4 check. But here white has king to c2 square, king c2 square. He cannot move to king c4 because he may lose the rook. So he has to play king to c2. Now rook into rook, black can exchange the rook. So there is nothing harm done. But in the next position, if white wants to pin the bishop, then he loses the game because the c2 square is not available. Now rook pins the bishop, but black can unpin by playing bishop to e6 check. So if white plays c4, then rook into rook wins the rook. So one should be very careful in pinning a pieces. He should watch whether unpinning is possible. But if you pin a piece against the king, unpinning is not possible. Now coming to the third position, again rook plays rook to d1, pinning the bishop. But here there is no check, but the bishop can be released and attack the queen. Now rook into rook check is threatened. If queen into bishop, rook into rook check. So he will lose the exchange. That is 2 points. So white is forced to play queen to g1 or f1. But now comes the other rook. Rook to h1. So rook to h1 is possible. Now white is forced to play queen into rook. After bishop into queen, rook into bishop. He loses 1 point here. So by the wrong pin, he loses the game actually here because the position is clearly minus for him. Thanks for watching.